Hello and welcome to this online workshop on advanced Excel training. Thank you for being part of this training and I appreciate your availability. This training is behalf of Voxen Corporate Training. Organization is into IT, soft skills and healing training. And we incorporate training for corporate as well as individuals. This is what is our mission, vision, and values. So our vision is to enable every individual to live a healthy and wealthy life. How that can be achieved? So that is what is our mission, and we are identifying, customizing, and accordingly delivering the complete training solutions as well as coaching to corporates and individuals. Our values are flexibility. So we are quite flexible whenever you require a particular training or a customization. A professional approach, start to end, everything will be taken care by us. And a quite result-oriented delivery as per the objective which was defined at the time of TNA. These are some of our clients. These are regular clients. During the pandemics also, we are doing a lot of online training on different subjects. This is about your trainer. So my name is Altaf Karimi. I'm working as a corporate trainer. My experience is now 15 years and I'm a Microsoft Office specialist. During my entire tenure, I have trained more than 30,000 participants and currently I'm associated with 500 plus corporates. As a courtesy of, or I can say token of gratitude, do visit our YouTube channel, which is www.youtube.com/c/Altaf Karimi. I have already crossed almost 1,000 plus genuine subscribers. I will appreciate if you go and subscribe to our channel. And there are a lot of other videos available you can watch and enhance your learning. You can go to my organization page and the page name is VCTAK, Voxen Corporate Training Altaf Karimi. That's what is the full form. We have a huge follow-up based where we post time to time different offers, different training requirements. I conduct training on Microsoft Advanced Excel, Microsoft Advanced PowerPoint, Microsoft 365, Power BI, Microsoft Access, Excel macros and VBA, Tableau, as well as SQL. These are few feedback for different subjects. These are only recently picked up one. Other feedbacks you can find on LinkedIn or our social media page. You can pause the screen and read if you are interested to know more in detail. I'll proceed. This is the latest batch completed for Excel. I've conducted Excel VBA feedback and a lot of participants have given excellent feedback, outstanding feedback. And this is a recently completed project for one of the participants from Saudi Aramco. And these are my efforts with my name and company name, which was published in one of the esteemed journal, Computer Society of India. You can pause and read. So this was a quick introduction about the organization and trainer. Now we'll focus on our topic and we'll complete our agenda. I will take you through all the important things and then you'll have very good experience from this entire webinar. Now I have started with my Microsoft Excel, and I'm using the latest version of Microsoft 365. And our agenda of the training will be to know various aspects and supporting functions related to lookup functionalities. So we'll start with the VLOOKUP. Then we'll see how we can incorporate VLOOKUP with if error, trim function, VLOOKUP with values, match function, data validation, protection, and finally another type of lookup function, that is HLOOKUP. So this is the entire agenda, and I will go slow. If you find my speed is slow, you can increase the speed of your YouTube player. And if you find it is fast, you can decrease the speed of your YouTube player. The option is available. So let us start with the practical approach, and let me show you different case studies, different examples that will help you to learn practically. So I have already prepared a training file, and post this training, if you like my webinar, this entire session, do like us on Facebook as well as subscribe for more videos. So when we talk about Microsoft Excel, there are lots of things available. And instead of getting a bit of knowledge for each topic, it is very important to acquire expertise level knowledge about each topic, one by one, step by step. So today's session will focus on interface and different types of functions. Post this session, you will not have any queries related to VLOOKUP, and you will have better understanding, and you will be able to handle your functionalities of VLOOKUP and other supporting functions in different situations also. So when we talk about Excel interface, we already have a complete interface given on top, and this interface is called as ribbon. I have already identified with the help of arrow, and then surrounded boxes will help you to know more about it. So this entire ribbon interface is made up of different tabs: home, insert, page layout. These are different tabs available. Then each tab, let's say page layout, is made up of multiple groups. So we have got themes, page setup. These are different groups. Now it is possible that a group may have more features and functionalities available, but that cannot be accommodated in this view. So that is extended through this option, which is called as launcher. So some of the groups like themes will not have launcher, but other groups may have, may not have. So like sheet options has one more icon called as launcher. So we have got various tabs. Each tab has multiple groups, and some of the groups will have launcher to show some more options related to that particular group. And on top we see a place. This place is called as quick access toolbar. So the purpose is, if you use any frequently accessible functionalities of Excel for which there is no built-in shortcut key given, so you can utilize this quick access toolbar. For example, we have an option in home tab, cut, copy, paste. So when I bring my mouse on cut, it shows there is a built-in shortcut key, Control X. Then if I'll go to the data tab, and if I want to do filter, right now it is not enabled because it's protected. Let me randomly add a sheet. So now it's enabled. So when I bring my mouse here, it shows the built-in shortcut key is Control Shift L. This is called built-in shortcut key because it is already predefined by Microsoft. But if I'll bring my mouse on the sort, there is no built-in shortcut key. So there is a method to access this icon using a shortcut key. So I press Alt. When we press Alt, I can see that for each tab there is one character assigned. So for data it is A. I've already pressed Alt. So now I'll press A. So it will go inside this tab and further it will show me more options to access a command. For example sort, it is showing SS. To exit from here, you click somewhere else or press escape twice. So if you remember, Alt A is to access data tab and SS is for sort. Now here, there is no data, so it cannot sort. But this is how we can access a particular command for which there is no built-in shortcut key. Second thing is that instead of using Alt A, then it is possible the feature is quite inside or depth. So again you press further characters, then again press more characters or numbers to reach to that command. So the best option will be we right click and add to quick access toolbar. It will get added here on top. Now how can I access this one? It's very simple. We press Alt, only Alt, and you can focus on these numbers. Just now I have added sort here and it is showing number 5. So next time if I am going to access sort, I will not go to data tab and click on sort. I will not press Alt A S S. I have already added it in quick access toolbar. So 5th is a position. If I'll add one more icon, let's say text to column, so that will be 6th position. So Alt 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and so on. So this is how we can use quick access toolbar. So next time if I want to sort, I'll just press Alt 6. I'll get error because right now there is no data available. Okay. So if you do not want to continue with this functionality, you can right click and remove from quick access toolbar. So as we know, we have a shortcut key Control S to save. So you can remove save from here and you can add more icons. So you get more room for different icons. So this is the actual purpose of handling ribbon and different components, elements of the ribbon. Here we get name box. Name box is used to display the current cell address as well as it allows you to go to a particular cell address. Sometime when you're reading a formula and that formula says A2 multiply by Z500. So no need to scroll, just type here that cell address, press enter, it will locate you there. Then we have formula bar. Formula bar will show you the actual formula within a cell, and this is the right way or right context to add a formula or modify a formula rather directly editing in the cell. Now we will start with one of our functionality, and the purpose of this functionality is there are two data sets. In both the data set, there is one common column, and in one of the data set, some of the values are missing, which is there in second set of data. So we need to extract from there. So this is what is the functionality of a function called as VLOOKUP. In VLOOKUP, V stand for vertical. So your data has to be vertically aligned. Okay. Now, what is the prerequisite of VLOOKUP? The prerequisite of VLOOKUP is that your data should be arranged in such a way that it should be unique. That is one thing. means there should not be any duplicate data. For example, if I have one Alice from Mumbai and there is one more Alice from any other city, let's say UAE or maybe Dubai. So in that case, if I'll say, let's give some discount to Alice, Alice is our customer. So the question will be, there are two person named as Alice. So which one? Getting it? So that is the reason we need to avoid duplicate. Maybe I can name it as Alice 1, Alice 2, and then it will be easy. So exactly same way, Microsoft Excel VLOOKUP will also be confused when there are two values, two entities with the same data. And then by default, it will pick up the first occurrence, which may not be as per a requirement. So we need to make sure that data has to be unique. That is what is a prerequisite of doing a VLOOKUP. So now if you look at this closely, this is my first set of data. This is my second set of data. And you can observe there is a common column, customer. This is a common column, customer. And it is not necessary that heading has to be same. It is important the values which is there in the common column in dataset 1 has to be found in the dataset 2. If it is not found, then what will be the outcome, how to handle that, we'll discuss in the upcoming sheets. Now we can observe we have got customer as a common column and we need to find out a location. So if the customer is John, we'll look at this, okay, customer is John, then we'll go through with all the customers data. Okay, so John is found here. And what is the city of John? Pune. So that value will appear here. So let's learn step by step and let's learn all the pros and cons and then limitations and how to overcome with those limitations and challenges. So I'll write equal to VL. The moment I write VL, VLOOKUP function appears. Now I press tab. After pressing tab, it will complete the function name and it will open the round parenthesis. Now you can continue typing all the inputs one by one. So you can observe there are 4 arguments for VLOOKUP. These are called as arguments. But last one is enclosed in square brackets. So that indicates it's optional. But rest 3 will be required. I go one step ahead and I press Ctrl A. When I press Ctrl A, I get function arguments. The advantage of function arguments is that you do not have to put comma and opening and closing of parentheses. It will take care of it. Now first is lookup value. So there are many assumptions, but lookup value is considered as single value because at a time the value will be returned by VLOOKUP will be a single value unless it is modified. So that's why I avoid highlighting the whole column with headers or without headers. This is not correct approach. Make sure you take single value, that is lookup value. And then it will reflect what value you have captured through a cell address. Text will be always in double inverted quotes. So this is lookup value. Then comes table array. So as we discussed, there are 2 sets of data. In one of the data, a value is missing, which is found in the second set of data. So we need to capture through or with the help of common column. So here comes the actual approach where we select the data. Again, there are ways people consider to select the data. Some people select the whole column like this. Some select with headers, and there are people who select without headers. If you expect your data may grow, means tomorrow a new customer and city will be added in the source as well as in the destination table, then I will suggest you know your data very well. It's not like every moment a new customer is getting added. That's not the case, at least in this sheet. So I'm assuming once in a month there will be a customer added. So if I'm preparing it for 12 months, maybe I can say 12 to 15 rows extra instead of giving burden to Excel to calculate through all the cells. We always prefer to select specific data or take few cells extra. There is no problem. Right now, my data will not grow. New data will not be populated. It remains as it is. So I'll select entire piece of data and I'll press F4 key. F4 will make it absolute. Now you can observe in any function or in Excel, when we use a cell address, let's say it is C2 cell address. When I'll complete my VLOOKUP, I will copy it down. So C2 will become C3 and it will point to the next customer. That is good for me. But this range which I am selecting here, so when I'll copy it down, even this range will also move one row down. So E2 will become E3 and F10 will become F11. So just imagine if later if I'll drag it one more cell down, so the reference will keep moving one by one. So I want it should not change. So after selection, immediately we press F4 key. In some laptops, you have to press FN, function also, function F4, FN F4. So when you press F4 and nothing happens, there is no $ appearing. So make sure you press FN F4, functional F4. Now what does it mean? It means the data will be fixed. That range will be freezed. Getting it? So this data, which is a range actually, E2 to F10 is constant. It will not change. So when I'll drag it down, this piece of range remain same. Now next is column index number. In column index number, it will ask you result is located in which column. So make sure you do not provide anything which is in terms of text or cell address or a range. It has to be in form of a number. So here if I'll say I want to extract location or city, so it is in which column of selected data. So if this is column 1, this is column 2. So column index number will become 2. So these are 3 required arguments. You can see it's bold and this is optional. But now the optional plays a very vital role here. So in this range lookup, there are 2 possibilities. It's a logical value, means true false, which is represented by 1 and 0 respectively. So if you want to use true value or if you want to get a range closest match, then you should use true and it has to be in ascending order. See, right now the data is random. I will explain this later. And then if you want exact match, means it should match exactly the same way, JOHN. So we should use false. Instead of false, we use 0, which reflects false because it's a Boolean value, true, false. Okay, 1 and 0. So now what will happen? It will look for exact lookup value and it will go to table array. It will search for the same spelling and then from the second column it will extract the data. And then I have gone to corner and then double click to fill it down. So now this is how first VLOOKUP is completed, where we have understood the complete VLOOKUP functionalities. And now we will move to the next example. So I'll save this file as solved one. think it's already there. I'll overwrite. Now we'll look at the next example. That is sheet called as VLOOKUP 2. Now what are we going to learn in this sheet? So we can see here, I have already mentioned what is the task to be done in each sheet with a very brief note for my reference. You can also read it from here. So I'm saying let's learn VLOOKUP when the source is within other sheet. Okay, source is in other sheet. So that's what we want. So in the previous example, the source was within the same sheet. But now in the next example, source data is available in other worksheet, that is here, source. So what kind of information is provided here? Product, amount, unit price, and discount percentage. So it's very easy to handle and understand all these things, because now if I'll say this is my first set of data and this is my second set of data, so take a pause and think, what should be my lookup value based on which column we want to extract the unit price from the source sheet. Okay. Now what we can do is that we can write a VLOOKUP here equal to VL tab control A. So the question is that what should be my lookup value? Because if this is my data set 1 and this is my data set 2, so I got product, amount, 2 columns. Here also I got product and amount, but unfortunately amount is not yet calculated. It will be based on quantity multiplied by unit price. So unit price needs to be captured. So when I want to say unit price, it will be based on the product. So now we can understand it should be based on product because amount is not yet calculated. So I'll write equal to VL tab control A. So my lookup value is already decided that it should be based on the product. So I'll click on product. It's again text, so appearing in the double inverted quotes. So this is my lookup value. Now where is my second set of data? Now this second set of data in previous example, we saw it was within the same worksheet, but it can be across sheets, means it can be somewhere in any other worksheet, or it can be in any other file. There can be more than one file. So you need to keep that file open and go to that file and select the data. So it is not going to be very different how the behavior is there for VLOOKUP. It is going to be similar, but only the difference is that you need to go to a particular sheet or a particular file to select the data. So in my example, I will go to the source worksheet. I'll start selecting data. Now there is a requirement when people ask, can I increase my selection and can I include discount percentage? So there is a possibility that unwanted or extra selection may hit the performance of your work or Excel. So as much as possible, try to select only the required data. Okay. So if it is single column, I may extend it. It's a small data for training purpose, but in a large files, there will be a hit of performance. So make sure you select very specific as per the requirement. So I'll select this and don't forget to press F4, freeze it. Now we want to extract unit price. So some people want to go and check what was my lookup value. It can be seen here, it is product, but what we want to know, amount or unit price. So from here, people click on the second sheet. That is not a good idea, because when you click from here, you have to go, you lose this, then you come back and then you select it. If you want to go to any other sheet, it's very simple. Just click in this cell, it will take you there. And again, if you want to go back to the source worksheet, click here. So we want to find out unit price, and as per our selection, unit price is in third column. So that number can be provided. Then range lookup. Range lookup is false, which is denoted by 0. I'll press OK. And double click on the corner just to fill the details. Now, instead of filling it using mouse, some people expect what is a shortcut key. So unfortunately, there is no direct shortcut key here. We need to take help of a column which is already properly filled. That will be benchmark column to what length I want to fill my current column. So I can go for either amount or unit price. They both are equivalently filled. Then once I go to the respective column, I press Control down arrow. That takes me on the last cell. Make sure there should not be any gap. If there's a gap, you continue with one more Control down arrow. Now I go to the column which I want to fill. And from here, I press Control Shift up arrow. So it will go and keep selecting upwards. And the moment it will include my cell, I will press Control D, D for down, and it gets filled towards downward. Hope you have understood this, and you're getting more clear picture, and your understanding and clarity both are improving if you were already exposed to these functionalities. Let's go ahead to the next example. Now in this example, we will learn how to use VLOOKUP with if error. So if you revise quickly, we have completed default syntax of VLOOKUP, and the data was captured from the same sheet, table array. Then in second attempt, we learned how to pull the data from any other worksheet, or it can be any other file also. As well as we have understood in and out about VLOOKUP. Now in the next activity, we will learn VLOOKUP will generate some kind of errors. So the question comes here, why will you get error in VLOOKUP? When you are applying a VLOOKUP, even in my corporate training when I conduct, some participants say that we get error in VLOOKUP. Sometimes we get error, sometimes we don't. So what is that situation? How to handle this? So these are pain areas, and you need to learn thoroughly. And I can make sure you that if you stay with me till end of this session and listen each and everything carefully and understand and absorb well, you'll not have any questions, queries related to conceptual understanding. Syntactical issues might come up because the handling was poor. So here in this data sheet, I have got product and amount. I want to know what is the discount percentage. So now again the question comes, we want to find out discount percentage, but should it be based on unit price, amount, or product? There are three possibilities. Now here I have got product and amount, two columns. So there is no possibility of unit price. So only we left with product and amount. Any one can be a lookup value to extract discount. So in previous example, we did with the help of product. Now let us look at with the help of amount. So I'll write equal to VL tab, Control A. First is lookup value. So we want to find out discount percentage, and it should be based on what? Amount, single cell. Now it is a numeric data, it's not text. It is not in double inverted quote. Table array. Table array is my reference data which is there in previous sheet. Now according to the rule, we must start selection of table array in such a way that first column must contain lookup value. So I cannot start selection from product. That gives me error. So according to rule, what is my lookup value? One of the amount. So my selection of table array must start from that lookup value column. There is a possibility that one of the amount which you considered is not available here. There is a possibility, but according to nature of data, this column represents amount. So I'll have to start selection from here. And as per limitation, we cannot extract data from the previous column. So based on amount, I can't find product. It cannot go towards left side of lookup value column. It can go only towards right side of lookup value column. How many columns? How many rows? No limit defined until you reach to the desired column and row. For me, this is enough. I'll freeze it. Now there are 3 columns and discount percentage is located in 3rd column. So that column number needs to be mentioned here, and then false. That is denoted by 0. So false means exact match. Exact match means if this is 3000, so for 3000, discount percentage is 3%. Exactly 3000, then discount percentage is 3%. Now when I'll double click or fill with the shortcut key it was taught to you in the previous sheet, I get error. I'm getting error, #NA. Now this error is because data does not exist in my source table. So there are 3 basic reasons of getting error. Reason 1 of getting error is data does not exist. Second reason of getting error is there is some extra space before or after or in between 2 words or text. And third reason of getting error is format mismatch. Like sometime when we pull the data from internet or some software, numbers are treated as text or stored as text. So in that case also VLOOKUP will give you error. So these are 3 possibilities and there are 3 solutions to these issues. Now first one, I'm getting data entry issue 4000 has #NA. Why? So if I'll go and check, you can observe 4000 is not there. So what should I do? I can do the data entry for 4000 and I'll get the result. Very simple. Other options I will tell you in the next sheet. But now if you send this file to your client or your management, they will consider it as an error. They will assume that you could not do it, so there is an error generated. So I cannot solve the problem right now, but I do not want to show the error. So in place of error, I would like to show 0. So I click here. Then it is nothing related to VLOOKUP. It has nothing to do with VLOOKUP. This function, if error, is used whenever there is an error, but that error has a known reason. But you do not want to show error. You want to make over.
So that at that time we use if error function. So VLOOKUP is already there and after equal to, but make sure you always go to the first one. I have observed some people get error here, they start modifying from here. That's wrong. You should always go to the first one. And from the first one only you read or edit the formula. So I'll click here and I'll introduce a function called as if error. Now what is the purpose of if error? As name suggests, if there is any error in your logic, in your formula, in your function, then it will display something more meaningful. So what we want to do here is that we want to use if error. So I'll write IFE, then I press tab. Now here I can't use control A because it's already implemented. So if error has two arguments, value and value if error. So value means your logic, your calculation. It can be simple A1 plus B1 or it can be multiple nested if and VLOOKUP and match index and complicated one. Whatever it is, that is going to be first input of if error. Rather I can say input of if error. And then if there is error in that input, which is nothing but a formula function, then what do you want to display? So comma 0. So now still error exists, but it is hidden with the help of if error 0. Now next activity is that what if I want to open one of the existing function argument. So for example, I'll go to VLOOKUP 1 or 2 and then I want to open existing function argument which used to appear when you say equal to VL tab control A. So in that case, either you click on this fx insert function or you press shift F3. This will open the function argument. So you can easily edit or modify. But when there are two functions, like in this example, there are two functions. One is if error, second is VLOOKUP. So when there are two functions and when you click on the first cell and press shift F3, it will open always the first function. See, it's showing if error in this entire logic, then display 0. So, but if you want to work with second function, you just click. It is switched to second function. Again, click in first function. Hope this will help. Take a pause and try to recall and complete the activities. Okay. I will continue. You can pause my video or you can just watch it again. What we will look at next is going to be a different example than day-to-day activities. Suppose if you go to shopping and if you shop up to 5,000 and there is one more customer who will shop up to 2,000. So definitely you expect some benefits. So in that case, most of the time in the shopping mall or in any sale season, there will be a concept like if you buy up to 2,000, you get 5% discount. If you buy up to 5,000, then 10% discount, and if you buy up to 10,000, then 20% discount. So even if you buy for 1,999, you will get 5% discount. Getting it? But the moment you will buy 2001 rupees, so you will be eligible for higher discount. So the data is not given that for each price, okay, each price there is no discount. It is like that a range is created. So how we will create a range in VLOOKUP? That's what we need to look at. So we type equal to VL, tab, control A. Again, I got a choice product and amount. So last time I have shown you with product, then I have shown you with amount. But again, I'll have to continue with amount because I'm talking about a range. Then I'll click on amount. The moment I'll click on amount, it captures the lookup value. And based on this lookup value, I'm supposed to capture the data of discount percentage. So I'll go to the source worksheet. As usual, I'll start selecting first column is amount, lookup value column, and move towards right side. I'll freeze it F4. Now discount percentage is located in third column. So I'll put a column number as 3. But in all previous examples, we use 0. The meaning of 0 is exact match. It should exactly match as it is 3000. So if there is a number 3750, it will not match, so you'll get error, which we handle through if error. But sometimes we do not want to handle errors. We want VLOOKUP to search within a range. By default, it searches within a range, but we always mention 0 or false, so it searches for exact data. Now if you read it carefully and if you use true value or 1, then we can search within a range. But for that, the condition is that lookup array has to be in ascending order. That's a requirement. So now I'll press OK. Oh, I did not put 1 here, 1, and press OK. Now I'll double click. And observe this time for 3750 it is coming as 3%, whereas in previous example for that 3750 it is coming 0% because of the error. If error is forcing it to convert into 0. But ultimately it is if error where it is not able to get the latest data. So now you can see that 3750, 0%. Now here 3750, 3%. So how VLOOKUP has come to know? This time it has to work on a range because of this number 1, true value, which I have used in my VLOOKUP. So how will you read it? If the amount is 0, the discount is 0%. But if the amount is 0 to previous to this number, then also the discount percentage will be 0. But the moment amount will be exactly 3%, 3000, then it will be 3%. But there is a possibility like the data can be in random order. So make sure if you want to use 1, then your lookup value column has to be arranged in ascending order. That's a rule. It was mentioned in the VLOOKUP box if you remember. Hope you have understood all these things properly. So whenever we use true, VLOOKUP will search within a range like 1 to 10, 11 to 20 and so on. But when we use 0, exact match, then it will look for only exact match and answer will be picked up from a respective column. But in closest match, it is a fuzzy lookup kind of thing. And then it will show you the actual value. Let me save it. Now our next objective is to learn trim function with the help of one example. And you all guys also can prepare a sample workbook and then you can start working on that. It will help you a lot. Now we need to find out invoice date based on invoice number. In this data I want to find out. So this is my data 1, this is my data 2, when all the invoice numbers and the dates are given. It's a long data. So I don't want to search it manually. The moment I'll put the invoice number, it should find out the invoice date. So I'll write a VLOOKUP. This is my lookup value. This is my data of table array. I'll freeze it. Now invoice date is located in second column. So now we need to decide whether to use 1 or 0. When we use 0, it will look for exact match, and 1 will search within a range, but lookup value column has to be in ascending order. So if I'll use false or 0, because I have 1001, 1001, then I'll write 1002. I will not search 1001, 1002. So it will not be 1001.25 as an invoice number. Now I'll press OK. And I got hash NA. So if you guys remember, I have explained you why we get hash NA if the referencing is proper. Because data does not exist. Let's see. So we have 1001, it's just in front of your eyes. 1001, 1001 data does exist, then why it is showing hash NA? Second can be some extra space. Second reason of getting error is some extra space. So for that we use trim function. So trim has two purposes. First purpose of trim is to convert, or rather to remove all the extra spaces before, which is called leading, and after, which is called trailing. So all the leading and trailing spaces will be removed by trim function. So let's do this. Equal to VL tab control A. So first is lookup value. I could have modified the previous one, but it's good to do a fresh start. I click here. Now, as I said, the lookup value is not matching with the lookup value which is available in the invoice number. So we can use trim function. So purpose of trim function is to take care of all the extra spaces, remove them, discard them, but it will not remove and discard physically from the data. While capturing that, it will remove the spaces. Bracket close. Make sure you don't forget to close the bracket. Table array remains same. Now it is just for training purpose small data, so I can afford to select like this. Invoice date is in second column, and I will use false or 0. Getting it? So now what will happen? I have to take D2 and observe. I got this properly done. So previously it was not appearing because there was a different type of data. Look at this. When I click on this invoice number, it's general. See, it is not necessary that it has to have a number format. Okay, even if the general is there, it is a number type, it's a data type. Understand? Data type is different and format is different. So even if it is a number format or general format, but it is typed as a number, it's a numeric data. Second thing, if I click on this one, see, it's a text data. How will you come to know quickly? When you write equal to VL tab control A, when you click on this invoice number, see, double quotes are not appearing. But the moment I click on the second invoice number, it appears with double quotes. So all the invoice numbers which is mentioned here in this column are stored as text, whereas this is not stored as text. So here the issue is that data format is mismatched, data type is mismatched. So you can make one of the data as number or text, or vice versa. So it's always easy to change the format of lookup value instead of all the table array cells. And I'm not going to do it from here. I'm not talking about formatting. I'm talking about the core data type, what kind of data it is. So here, all these are stored as text, and I will not make it number. I'll keep it, let it be as it is. Rather, my lookup value I will convert into text using trim function. So it will match with the table array of second data set where all the values are text based. And I got the result. Next worksheet. So in this next worksheet, what we can do is that we can understand one more aspect of VLOOKUP. Now, just now I have completed a case study where lookup value is numeric number type of data type, not format based data type, and my second data set is text. So I'm not converting this as a number, rather I'm converting this as text by using trim. Even I'm not doing physical value to change as text. Rather, when I'm capturing it from a cell address, I'm saying it should be trimmed. Means all the spaces should be removed first thing, and second thing, it should become text. In this worksheet, I have done a reverse of the case. What I have done here, all these are general or number format, but the invoice number is in text format. So it is very difficult that all the invoice number to convert into text. Instead, one text input can be converted into word. So this particular conversion will happen when we talk about the word text, rather I can call it as a text reverse case of trim. So we use a function called as value. Have a look here, equal to VL, tab control A. The moment I click here, this is in form of a number. But when I click here, this is in double inverted quotes, which indicate it's a text. So I am not going to virtually make on the fly these values as text. Rather, it will be easy to convert this one as number, and not the actual data will be converted. Rather, when I'm capturing it, while capturing it, it will give me the value in form of number. How is that possible? So I can use a function value. Value function will convert or capture the data in form of number. So when now if I click here, you can observe the double quotes are not appearing, whereas this is text. That's why it is not matching with this one. So I'll do as per the decided place, VL tab control A. This is my lookup value, which is text. But the moment I'll enclose it with value function, oops, then it will be converted to numbers. Data type will become numeric. Then I'll go and search here. Column index number, I can see the product is located in the second column, and false, 0, because I want exactly 1001. I don't want to search within the range of 1001 to 1002, because there is no invoice as 1001.1 or 1.2. And I'll press OK. So hope gradually you have understood how we use trim function, how we use value function. Let me take you through to the next activity. In the next functionality of VLOOKUP, we will learn how we can incorporate match function. So first of all, we need to understand what is the purpose of match function. First thing, And second thing, we need to understand how to implement it in VLOOKUP. So based on invoice number, I need to find product and I need to find amount. So I'll show you step by step. So be with me. In this sheet, we have got invoice number. I got product name as well as amount. And I will take help of this VLOOKUP to sheet to find out product and amount. So let us understand with different case studies here. Let me copy and paste it for your ease of understanding. Okay, by the way, this is in text format. I can say ignore the error. And you can convert into a number also. But then there means in VLOOKUP to sheet, it should be number. But here it is text. Unfortunately, here also it is text. So I'm not going to use text means string function or value function. So if I'll do a VLOOKUP here equal to VL tab control A, this is my lookup value. Then I'll go to table array sheet VLOOKUP 2. I'll select this data and freeze it F4. Now currently I'm looking at a data that is capturing product name. So that is in second column. So I could have restricted my selection only up to B column. So second and then 0. This is done. Then again I'll do next VLOOKUP to find out amount. Invoice number is my lookup value. Table array same VLOOKUP sheet. Then I have selected entire data. And it is based on invoice number. So invoice number has to be first column of selection. And I'm moving towards right side. I'm following all the rules. And there are limitations. It cannot find data from left side of lookup value column. Because as per the rule, lookup value column should be the first column of table array selection. Now amount is located in fifth column. So I'll put a number 5, but before that I'll freeze it. Zero means exact match. And this is how I've completed VLOOKUP. Now, instead of doing 2 times VLOOKUP, some people ask, can I do in one go? So yes, you can do that also, but the challenge is that you should be thorough with the concept of mixed cell reference. What we did here, we pressed F4. So usually it is just a cell address like A2. When I press F4, it brings dollar symbol, so it becomes $A, $2. So $2 symbols will come, and that indicates it is a fixed cell address. But sometimes we have to keep a row or a column open, which keeps changing. So that is called mixed cell reference. That appears when we press more than one time F4. I'll show you how we can write only one formula or function, which we can simply copy right side, and then we get the result. So again, equal to VLOOKUP, tab control A, lookup value, table array is my data. And then I'll have to freeze it to N 0. Now this is already frozen. This range is already freezed. So when I'll copy it right side, it will not change. It remains same. So that is good. Whenever we use text or numbers in our formula, that will never change. So 2 will remain 2 and 0 will be as it is. So when I go to next column, when I copy paste to the next column, this A5 will become B5 because I'm moving one cell right side, one column right side. So I don't want this A5 should become B5. I want after copy paste, it should again point to A5. So I'll freeze it. And now let me copy paste and change this column number 2 as 5. So with the help of single formula, I have got the result. But still, I have to mention the column number. So if you follow a very minute observation, you will come to know something interesting. Why we say here the number should be 2, why we mention the number should be 5? Because we observe here, we observe the heading, that is B4, suppose in this current case. I look at which column it is there in B4. Okay, it is product. So when I'm collecting the data, I will keep eye on all the headings, and then I'll say, okay, we want from product. This is what we do manually. If you convert this process into Excel function, then the function is match. If you're new to this function, it might be a bit complex for you, but as and when you practice and keep exploring and learning yourself, it will become easy and handy for you. So let us understand what is the purpose of match function. So why I'm concerned with match function in VLOOKUP, because I don't want to even type this number 2 also. I don't want to type this number 5 also. It should come automatically just with the help of copy and paste. So why do we type 2? Because we go to that sheet and we count and start counting from A1. We move towards right side, going through with all the headings. As soon as we see the headings, we stop there and we pick up that column number. Let the same task be done by match. So equal to match, tab, control A. Now what is the purpose of match function? To extract position. Means a cell value among multiple cells is at what position. For example, if I have A, then I have B, D, A, C. So A is located at what position out of these 4 cells? So we take value of this, we keep searching here, and we say it's at 3rd position within the selection. And the same job will be done by match. Match will take single input, go through with multiple cells, and provide you the number. So let's take the live example here. So I'll say equal to match. Match this header PRODUCT, comma. Where do you want to match? In these rows, but I'll have to freeze it, otherwise it will keep moving, changing. Okay, and then comma 0. So match has 3 arguments. What do you want to match? How do you want to match? And then do you want to search within a range or do you want exact value? Even for match, there is one more argument, ascending, descending, enter. So this I did manually. Other example I've shown you with the help of function arguments. Now I'll show you with function arguments. So equal to match, tab, control A. Like VLOOKUP, it has a lookup value. Like table array, it has a lookup array. And like range lookup, here we have match type. So first is lookup value. What do you want to match? So I want to match this particular cell. Where do you want to match? So I want to match in this range, but I'll freeze it and then I'll make it 0. 0 means exact match. So number 2. Now if I'll copy it right side, this range is fixed, so that will be same, and 0 is a number or text, as I said in a formula, remains same. But this cell address B7, okay, if I'll copy it right side, B7 will become C7, and that's what we want. So to copy it right, we can use Control R and see the number 5 has come. So in VLOOKUP, this you did manually, number 2, and in this one, number 5. Now, as we have already got it automatically, 2 and 5 with the help of match function, so why not implement match function in place of column index number, which is a hard-coded value. We manually count and enter the number. So this is the power of match function. Now we are going to implement this match function. So equal to VLOOKUP, tab control A, lookup value is this, table array is this entire data, freeze it. Even this one also be frozen because we are going to copy paste right side. The column index number, I'll take it from here and I will not fix it, freeze it. Because when I'll say copy to the right side, B9 will become C9 and it will take the next number and 0. Now I can simply click here and control R. So you can observe now without doing any changes, modification, anything as such, I have got my value updated. So this is the actual purpose of using match function. But now we are dependent on the below cell. So by mistake, if this cell got deleted, my output will be error. So what we can do, whatever logic we have developed for the match function, we can go to the formula cell. How to copy? We select without equal to sign. We copy it, Control C. Then we press escape. Come back to the VLOOKUP. And then we paste in place of column index number. So instead of writing a formula or function in a cell and that referring to that cell, I can copy the actual logic and implement directly in my current function in place of that reference. So formula becomes lengthy and complicated, but it is like the way it is explained, it is very simple. So now I don't have any dependency on this cell. Same way if I'll copy it right side, I am not dependent on this. And the best part is that tomorrow if I'll change this header, product, instead I will just put any other header, let's say QTY, quantity, it will be updated automatically. Because match is a function which will check for the value in B7, then it will go to VLOOKUP2 sheet, search that value from A1 to E1, and then wherever it is found, it will give that number to VLOOKUP, and VLOOKUP will extract from that column. So if you are new to this function, pause this video, or maybe you can just rewind it and watch it again and again when you become expert. And do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and like my Facebook page. We, as a trainer and like I have my own organization, Voxen Corporate Training. I'm operating from Mumbai and I have a very huge client base. And if you know any other organization where such kind of corporate training is required, please let me know. Right now you're just listening to me, so it seems monotonous, and here it's a quite late night so you can understand my body is trying to support my mind. So we do a lot of corporate workshops, and those workshops are practical, hands-on, interactive, and these are virtual online training, because from last 4 months I'm doing only online trainings. Now you can refer other corporates also, and it's not only Excel, there are many application and software I conduct training, and I have trainers also who handle other subjects which I have not expertise. I have maximum 10 subjects, but beyond that I take help of other trainers also. So I can provide trainer for your corporate as well as for your reference. Let me know. We work globally. I'll take you to the next example and soon we will close the session. Now in this example, I will help you to understand the data validation while doing a VLOOKUP. And it is not dependent on VLOOKUP, but I found this is a very good application to combine with VLOOKUP, and most of the time people use it. So every time when we do a VLOOKUP here. Now I'm going to do it again with the help of match. So it will be a good revision for you. So equal to VLOOKUP. This is my lookup value. When I'll copy it to the next column, it should not change. So I'll freeze it. My table array remains same. VLOOKUP to sheet. I'll select all the columns and freeze it. Then I'll write match this header. I will not keep it fixed because when I'll copy it right side, it should become C1. Where to search in this fixed range. This I will freeze it, comma 0. And VLOOKUP also has a comma 0 because we want exact match. Okay. And then I can copy it right side. Even if you want to avoid copy, paste, control R, you could have selected both. And when you write your formula and function, do not press enter, press control enter. So it gets filled in all the cells. So there is a separate video on my YouTube channel. Go and watch that. That helps you to understand how to fill the details. So I have very few for public videos because usually we don't put everything on public portal. But whenever I conduct training for promotional activities and helping people to understand the concept in detail, I make such kind of videos to help people understand it in very detailed and better way. Now when I change it to invoice number 100121099, I get error, hash NA. So I've told you the first reason of getting hash NA is data does not exist. So we can go and check whether this 1099 invoice exists or not. So invoice numbers are nothing but my serial numbers. So when I go last is 1075. That's why it's not able to get the data. So when I'll change it to 1075, it will work. Now you need to understand here, the reason of getting error was not because of VLOOKUP, not because of one of the cause of getting error. So some people say, why can't we use if error? Yes, you can use if error, but understand the reason of getting error. If error will be used when there is an error. But why are you getting error in the first place? That you need to understand, because you are entering the wrong data. So if you want to restrict your data entry, we use data validation for that. Data validation will allow you only specific settings, and through that setting only data will be flowing in your Excel sheet cell. So let me delete it and I go to data tab. So my invoice numbers are starting from 1001 to 1075, and then I click on data validation. So wherever I will keep cursor or select few cells, there I can create a data validation. So I can click on data validation. So once I click on data validation, you can see allow is by default any value. So I can replace this any value with whole number because I am handling numeric data. By default, the condition is between, which we can change it to any other condition. So I'll keep it between. Then between what? 1001 to 1075. Now there is a possibility that you know it well that it should be within this range, but maybe there is your client or management, they are not aware, they may enter wrong data and it will not accept. Let's see here. So 1001, that is not allowed. Okay, let me go back to data validation. So if you want to modify anything here, now you can observe what is the format. It is text. So what I'll do, I will just copy the invoice number from here and paste here. Now the format also has come up. Now if I'll go back to data validation, and if I'll say it should be whole number between 1001 to 1075, and if I write 1002, so this kind of challenge will keep coming up. So that's why instead of giving as a fixed range, what I will go here and consider is list. So advantage of using list is to avoid any manual data entry. So I create a list. So list will ask me where is your data located. So I'll say I'll go to this sheet and select all the data and press OK. And now I got a drop down, and observe it's working. So whenever we try to do a data validation, and if you create a list, it's a very easy approach where instead of data entry, which is manually, you can provide drop down list of unique values. Let's say, for example, you want to enter state names. There are high chances of spelling mistake. Okay. And then we can avoid such things by creating a drop down list. So for data entry purpose, whenever you're entering a data, instead of keeping it open or random entry, we can restrict it and make it easy and comfortable for end user with the help of data validation. Now, how do we remove a data validation? Very simple. We go back to data validation and there is a button, clear all. The moment I'll click on clear all button, it will be gone. Now, when there is a list, everyone is aware there is a drop down list given. We are supposed to select from drop down. But in case, if you want your user to inform, so you can use input message, where you can put a title. But this is optional. Select from the list. So we are saying select invoice number from the list. So this message will appear. See, the moment I'll click here, input message will appear. It has a title and it has a message. Now there is a possibility user will by mistake or intentionally put something wrong. So how do we deal with that? That's called error alert. So previously you saw 2 times when I tried, error was coming, and that was provided by Microsoft. But I can go and customize it. I'll say error. And I know why the error will come or when the error will come. So if I'll select from the list, well and good. But if I'll type something randomly, so this message will come, which is customized. So it is title and message. You can be more harsh with the user. You can customize the message. Hope you have understood this concept. Okay. Next, I'm going to finish this quickly. And there is one more sheet pending here. So now when we create a data validation for our ease of work, definitely you will send this file to your colleague or your boss or management or client, and they will keep changing the drop down here. This is nice. They are changing the drop down and desired result is appearing from different columns of a source data. But by mistake, they hamper or they delete or edit or modify a formula. And when the formula is lost, it will be difficult to manage for such kind of users who used to play it without creating it. They become quickly distracted because it is not working. So how can we avoid and make sure that you are not allowed to delete, add or modify the data? So for that, what I'll do, I will not create one more interface again. I'll just copy the previous one here. It's already working fine. So I can change the value and I can go to a drop down and then change the value accordingly. Formula will be changed, but at the same time, I can do a mistake here and my formula or maybe the whole cell is wiped out. So to avoid such kind of scenarios, what we can do is that we can use protect sheet. Now protect sheet is different topic, data validation is a different topic, but here I am combining as a scenario or case study to explain you the application part of it. You may use it separately also. So I'll go to protect sheet and enter a password. The moment I'll press OK, I have to enter the same password again. And now the sheet is protected. So if someone will try to delete, it will not work. But at the same time, a big challenge is that like this particular cell is not allowed to do any kind of changes. At the same time, even this cell will also not allow you to do the changes. Because this is default behavior with entire Excel sheet that none of the cell will allow you to do any kind of changes after once protection is applied. So how do we deal with this? So some people suggest let's remove the protection, then again protect it, so again remove it. So instead what we can do, we can find a way to understand concept. So now you pay attention, listen carefully. By default, each and every cell of your worksheet is locked. You want to see that? I click somewhere, then I press Ctrl+1 for format cells, or some people use right click format cells and see protection tab, it's locked. Randomly I pick up any other cell, right click, format cells, protection tab, it's showing locked. So by default, each and every cell of your worksheet is locked, and once you protect sheet, it shows the effect of locking. It doesn't allow you to work with any of the cell. So the solution is that for a particular cell which you want to work after protection, will remove the lock. So that can be entire column, entire row, a piece of data, or non-consecutive ranges. Okay, anything you select. You are supposed to just select whatever cells you want to allow after protection. You need to select the cells, Ctrl+1, and this is also locked by default. Now I'll remove the locked. Now I'll remove the locked. And then I'll press OK. And now I'll protect the sheet. But when I'll protect the sheet, there are two types of cells here. Allow all users of this worksheet to select lock cells and select unlock cells. So they can select lock cells also, they can select unlock cells also. We are allowing both. But now in my worksheet, A2 is unlocked. And why is it unlocked? So I can work after the protection is applied, rest all is locked. So I want my users to go only to unlock cells. I'm allowing my users to go to only unlock cells. I have unchecked that they can go to lock cells. And now I'll enter a password. Re-enter the same password and observe in this cell A2, because for this cell I went to format cell and remove the lock, and now in protect sheet also I said we can go to unlock cells. I can change the value, but I can't even click. Select means click in any other cell. So maybe if there is one more cell here for which you have removed the locked and you use protect sheet, so it can allow you to go to that cell also, but not in any other cell. Hope you have understood it well. And finally, we have one more function which is exactly like VLOOKUP, but only the difference is that in VLOOKUP, data is vertical, one below each other, and in HLOOKUP, data is horizontal. So in VLOOKUP, we count the columns, but in HLOOKUP, we count the rows and we provide the row number. So now look at this. We have got various customers and their total sale amount, and I want to know for this first customer the sale value. So we write equal to H lookup HL tab control A. Whatever is taught to you, value function, trim function, if error, range lookup, true and false, match function in column index number of VLOOKUP, here it is row index number, and after completion, data validation, protection, all these things can be applied on this. It is very simple. Okay. So I'll click and say lookup value is this. This is my text. So in VLOOKUP, usually when we select some data, we count column 1, 2, 3, and so on. But in HLOOKUP, we select the data and we count rows, row 1, row 2, but don't count from this row number 1, 2, 3. Don't count the Excel rows. Count whatever you have selected. So within the selection, how many rows I've applied or included? 2 rows. My result, which I want, amount, is located in which row? Is it in row 1 or is it in row 2? So according to my selection, not by Excel rows, it's in row 2. Then I'll freeze it. Freeze can be optional here because it is for single cell. But let's keep a good practice to freeze it, table array. So row number is 2 and then 0. And we got it. Then you create a drop down here, go to format cells, remove locked, then go to protect sheet and then remove locked option, keep only unlocked and enter a password. So the whole interface will be easily created here. So hope in these 10 sheets, you have understood what is the purpose of each particular functionality and how to use that. And after this training, I'm sure you will not have any misunderstanding or you would require any more clarity. So if you would require some more explanation, some more comments or something like that, go to our YouTube channel, subscribe, like this video, share with others, as well as you put your comment. I'll read and reply to you. So hope it was a good learning for all of you, where you could understand the whole detail of these functions and you will be able to implement in your day-to-day work, and whatever missing knowledge was there with you, that is acquired. So we have seen different aspects of VLOOKUP. Next 20 minutes I'll keep for queries and questions in case if you have anything we can connect. All right guys, so hope it was a good session for all of you. You can manage the speed while playing it on YouTube. You can pause the screen and then you can recall. And during some of the example there was a long pause, so just think about it. What will be the next activity? Practice it, because that's what leads to the expertise. And if you'll have any training requirement, connect with me. All my details are provided. Thank you so much, all of you, for being part of this training, and would be glad to see you soon for our other workshops. Thank you so much.